Oh, it's the big one. Oh, is it the big one? This is the one we wait for. One of the ones we wait for. It's Man United Liverpool, Old Trafford. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, wherever you are on this glorious planet. Welcome to another episode of Carnage. A Carnage that sort of consists of a preview of the probably one of the biggest games still, I'd say, in the world. I don't think it's an over exaggeration when you say Man United, Liverpool, regardless of where we are, form wise, in the table wise, sort of in the ranking wise, it's still one of the hugest games on the planet, in my humble opinion. But it's not my opinion that counts on these shows. It's all about the panel, and obviously I've got my partner in crime, my new partner in crime, Conroy. How are we, Conroy?
No, I'm good. Thanks for having me, Grizz. Pleasure to be here as always.
It's
I've
not a
seen a lot
problem.
of you
You
in the
got
last week.
listen. You got to stop saying that now. You're part of the furniture now. You got to say thanks for having me. You like you're part of the team now. This is it, mate.
Yeah, no, of course,
Step
maybe
up
I
to the
should.
plate.
Yeah, no, I will do. But
All
no,
right.
yeah, just buzzing to be on again. And here we go. A massive game on Sunday. And I think we've all got lots of questions, especially a few that I want to ask Adam. So yeah, let's crack
Oh,
on
I
with
bet
it.
you have. I bet you have. And making his debut on my channel, I know, on my show, I beg your pardon. I know we've done stuff together. My good friend from years. Kev, how are we?
I'm really good, Grizz. Excited. If you can't get up for this game, then football isn't for you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's,
take up table tennis or
yeah,
something. Do you know what I
there's a
mean?
weekend of sport coming up, man. This is huge. And
Absolutely.
when the fixtures comes out, there's two or three that you look for, and this is it. This is one of the top ones. Can't wait.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we had to look, sometimes you're forced to get one of the other side on, right? This is one of those occasions. But people that sort of watched Carnage before know that Adam's probably one of the nicest United fans that we know, and it was an absolute pleasure to get him back on. Thank you very much again, Adam.
Pleasure, mate, as always. I would say nicest. I would probably say I fit into your channel because I just say it as it is, mate, and that's what we all want to hear, innit? It's
And do you
proper
know
fan
what?
content.
Do you know what? That's exactly what Carnage is about. It's no agendas, no narratives. It's pure Carnage. And look, talking about Carnage, we can start off with your game, and we can talk about our game. Both our Champions League games during the midweek. Both ended 3-2, but both totally different games. Well, actually similar game in our sense as well, in terms of we went 2-0 up, you guys went 2-0 down. You was at the game, Adam. Go through the emotions of the night and tell us how you felt by the end of it, because obviously you have every right to be elated and jumping for joy at the final whistle. But then when sort of that sort of disappears and you get home, where do you stand with the team, and how did you feel like afterwards?
It's when the dust settles, mate, innit? And normally, I said this when we beat Villarreal in the last minute with Ronaldo. There's that vibe, that feeling at the moment. It's like normally you'd think, you look at it, you go, Ronaldo, last minute winner, Champions League under the floodlights. You know what I mean? It's a great feeling. And then literally 10 minutes after, dust had settled, and it's like the reality slapped you back in the face, and it was like, fuck, man, we were shit. And that basically was how it was against Villarreal. And then the first half against Atalanta, this is coming off the back of the shower of shite that there was against Leicester at weekend, where we had on paper, one of the best teams going, and we got absolutely battered. That first half against Atalanta, United got booed off at half time by the home fans. We were booed
Wow.
off. I'm not I'm not that way inclined. I would never boo my team. It's not what I was brought up with, but there was obvious, loud disgruntlement, you could say, amongst the United fan base. I mean, guys in front of me with 20 minutes to go before half time went down for a drink. Thought, I'm going to watch this on TV. Can't be asked sitting out here. Might as well just go and get bladdered. So they went down. It was that feeling all around, and it was like something miraculous has to happen here. Otherwise, is Ollie even going to make it to weekend? Because the question was before this group of fixtures after the last international break was, is Ollie actually going to still be in a job? It was, everyone knows our run of games is horrendous. Atalanta at home probably was the easiest of all the games. A weakened Atalanta at that as well. And they were still 2-0 up and kicking our ass all over the place in the first half. So believe me, mate, the fan base is torn completely at the moment. I swear how I felt. It was just one of, I just couldn't believe how crap we were. It was like, it wasn't simple just having a bad day. It was can't pass the ball 10 yards, don't know what position on the pitch and playing. And it was like watching Sunday League football. It was horrendous. And then second half starts and you're like, this is why I'm getting pissed off all the time, because this is the team that I should be watching. I'm like, why is it taking us to go 2-0 down to come to this? Because that's the best I've seen us play all season in that second half. We had intent, we were fast, we were crossing the ball, we were actually playing to Ronaldo's strengths for a change, and something we've not done all season since he's come in. And I said in many of previous videos, when Ronaldo plays, we're playing with 10 men, because Ollie doesn't know how to adapt his team around him. And with Ronaldo, you either play to his strengths or you don't play him. It's as simple as that. And this was the big question with Ollie. Can he handle all these big egos? Can he handle Ronaldo? Last night, he pulled him out of the mire again. That's 3-3 in the Champions League for Ronaldo. Without him, I'd probably say Ollie's head was, I think it would have been chopped off. It wasn't on the block, it was off. That's what I would say, because he saved us against Villarreal. He saved us again tonight. And you know what? I can't see anyone else scoring the goals that he scores in our team. And therefore, without him, I don't think Ollie, it's hard to say, would be in a job. But when you look at it and you put everything down on the table, you've got to look at it and say, that probably would be the case, because it would be too much. I mean, we haven't kept a clean sheet in 20 games. It's 21 clean sheet in 20. Do you know what I mean?
It's unheard
One
of,
clean
isn't it,
sheet all this season. It is really bad at the moment. And I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool fans were licking their lips, because looking at our defence and the way we play, unless we go out full 90 minutes like we did in the second half against Atalanta, we wouldn't stand a chance even if we tried to be solid. So it is one of a mood of real discontent within the fan base at the moment. And we're torn because everyone loves Ole, and we feel like we're being guilt-tripped for having an opinion against him right now. But I think the majority now are getting that reality slap in the face, where it is more overpowering than the actual love you've got for an ex-player. It's getting to a point where it's like, we need to be seeing some form of improvement. And this group of games is what a lot of fans are saying is going to determine how he moves forward, if he does move forward. And it starts this weekend, mate.
You know, that was, that was a great listen from a Liverpool fan point of view. But the human side of me, like, I'm with Ham Wallet here. He says, man, somebody get Adam a stiff drink, please, for fuck's sake. Like, and I'm telling you, if we were sort of in person, right, I would 100% give him a stiff drink right now, and probably an arm around the shoulder, like, mate, we've been there. Because,
yeah, I know you have. I know.
Because Conroy, it's. I know we spoke about it once, where to me it sounds like very much like the Roy Evans era. In terms of, Roy Evans was one of our own. We loved him to bits. The fan base wanted him to do so well. But we always knew Roy wasn't the guy to take us to the promised land. There would be great players in that team. We had stars like Robbie Fowler, Stan Collymore, Jamie Redknapp, Steve McManaman. Do you remember that great team? And we'd have great moments against so many, great matches where we'd think, this is the turning point. Does Does this sort of era resemble Man United's era, resemble that era for us, for you as well? Or am I completely chatting shit?
No, I think there is a resemblance there, Grizz. I'd also say you could look at the Roy Evans era and also look at, and maybe say, you say feeling guilty, Adam, but I mean, Frank Lampard's probably Chelsea's greatest ever player, and management is not the same as being a player, and I don't think you should view abuse and criticism are two completely different things. And if someone's not good enough to do the job, and especially where Manchester United want to be, it's not like you're trying to go from 5th to 4th here or 4th to 3rd. You try to get to the promised land again. And as Grizz says, I feel like 90% of the Man United fans know that you're not going to get that with Ollie, and it's probably similar with Roy Evans as well. We just knew, as much as you don't want it to be that way, but football isn't about sentiment, and that's the cold hard facts. And I think, all jokes aside, all the Ollie in banter and stuff, like, football fans will tell you right now, it's clear what Manchester United do if they want to get in there. And the ones who maybe disagree with that, I think by now, if you've not seen that he's not the man for the job, then I don't know what else to show you, because there's exciting moments, but to me, you're not going to compete with the 3 other managers of Tuchel, Klopp and Guardiola with all. It's just not going to happen. So really good comparison though, Chris.
Well, Junaid Khan's come out with a different one, Kev. He said, I would dare to say it's more Dalglish second spell era, where even though we won a trophy, FSG acted without sentiment to remove him of the spell. Would you agree with that more? And B, Conroy talks about sentiment. And you'd think in this day and age, there'd be less sentiment around, with all the money involved and with all the power involved in terms of, how powerful and rich these chairmen are. But yet Man United are still clinging on to this. Even Adam would admit it's pure sentiment that he's still clinging on to a job, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, I agree with 100%. When you were describing that at the start, the first thought that came to mind was when it started going sour for Kenny. You felt sick to the pit of your stomach that it was going, and we could all see it, and we all knew what needed to happen. None of us had the heart to say it, and when it happened, it was like a relief. It was a weight off, and I mean, United's problem isn't Ollie. United's problem is they're buying with no structure. They're buying with no plan. They have no idea of how they want to play. They have no idea of how to build a team to play a certain way. They didn't need Ronaldo. United's problem isn't goals. I watched that game last night, and if United scored 4 in the first half, you wouldn't have been surprised. They were poor finishing in the first half. They were poor in the second half with their finishing. They were sloppy, and they scraped over the line with a Ronaldo header at the end. And yeah, it's entertaining, and the fans will be up after it. But like Adam said, cold light of day, you're not winning a league with playing like that. We know what building something on quicksand is like. We watch Brendan Rodgers do it.
Yeah,
it's entertaining. It's fantastic. You love watching it, but in your heart of hearts, it's not winning football. And it wasn't until we changed our philosophy in buying players, brought a manager and a director of football who understood how to build a winning side in an era where you're competing with countries. So, I mean, look, I watched United last night, and if that game ended 7-3, 8-4, Atalanta had really good chances in that second half. For how Adam was saying that United were good at throwing it forward and everything, United were wide open, and a better side with a ball-playing central midfielder would have slipped strikers in all night long.
I mean, they were missing 5 key players last night.
They were missing 5 key players, and Atalanta aren't the Atalanta side that had Papu Gomez playing for them. A couple of years ago when we played them, they were a sorted side.
Well, they've replaced their main defender with Demiral.
Demiral's only on loan.
Who's quite highly rated, but again, even the floodgates opened when he went off.
Yeah, they had an under 20. They had an under 21 Italian international that came on last night, and the kid might have a bright future. But at the end of the day, he would have grown up in under 21 football and under 18 football in Italy, looking at Ronaldo and thinking, "My God, he's fantastic. He's this, he's that." And now I'm marking him. Oh my God! Do you know what I mean? He was starstruck.
Ham Wallet is my favorite guy in the chat tonight. Both of his comments have been brilliant, and I've kept this one on. I've kept this one on screen because even though I told Conroy to remind me or give me some sort of signal, I completely forgot about my amazing sponsor. So Ham Wallet is
The banner is up as well.
I've got to blame someone.
Yeah,
Ole needs some CBD. And you know what? If Ole needs any CBD, Adam, what he needs to do is log on to www.eliteme.com, who are our fantastic sponsors for anything CBD. And if Ole needs a discount on top, because he's feeling a bit low and he probably wants every little penny helps at the moment, right? If he types in LFC 10, he'll even get a 10% discount courtesy of us. Now that's an amazing deal for Ole. So if you ever sort of feel like emailing him, just put in a good word for Elite Me. But listen, thank you very much.
I think he might need it in the next couple of weeks, Chris. I could see him needing it in the next couple of weeks.
Well, we say that, but look, coming back to Adam, we say that, and you talked about this spell that you're going through and you've got coming. How many times has Ole had this spell and he comes out with it? Adam, he comes through it. Like, what is it?
This is the thing, mate, innit? It's like the cat with 9 lives. He always pulls the result out of the bag. But in them occasions, there's been a Norwich or a whipping boy team just there to go and smash 5-4-0, something like that. And it just gives everyone a little bit of a boost. But it was Leicester, it was Atalanta, it's Liverpool, Spurs, it's Atalanta away, it's City at home. Even after the international break, Chelsea, Arsenal,
no respite.
Watford. There's nothing. There's no little whipping boy game. There's not even a Carabao Cup game in the middle because we're out of that. There's no get out of jail game for him this time. So it is literally do or die time for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with this team because his metal's going to be tested. He cannot handle Nuno. He couldn't handle Nuno when he was at Wolves. They absolutely stunk the place out. It's the worst game in the Premier League history. Every time we played Wolves, he can't beat the low block. That at Spurs, with Son and Kane at the other end, with a bit of firepower, worries me, probably more than City, because a Manchester derby can be anything. We've seen United turn up, even when we look like we're finished and beat City. It's just one of them things. But I just don't see it right now. It doesn't have that feel about it, Grizz, anymore. Like that, you said it there, that little get out of jail. He always pulls it out the bag. Like last night, that was an understrength, that Atalanta team. It's like I gave David De Gea my man of the match because that chance that Kev was talking about there, the double save, would have made it 3-1. That's night Vienna. United don't come back from that. But I'm looking at it going, if that was Liverpool, a City, anyone decent, then we're 4-0 down at half time and no one's coming back from that because you just pick us up on the break. And like I said, they had chances. If it was anyone decent, which nearly every team that we're playing coming up now is decent, then we're going to concede chances. We are, because the only way we play and get anything like we did in the second half last night is if we play attacking football. But then you've got to rely on that defence to try and hold it out, which they can't. Like I said, clean sheets, 1 in 20. We've had 1 clean sheet all this season. With no Varane in that team, it's hard to play expansive football because Maguire and Lindelof, it's like turning the Titanic. It's ridiculous, except they're like that tanker that got stuck in that canal, that stopped us getting all our shipments coming through. That's like them. They're just trying to turn there. And so it's literally that forward line of Salah, Mane, it'd be Firmino or Jota, because Jota has a great game against United every time he plays us. It could be any one of the 4. It doesn't matter. Then you're licking your lips because our back line, we've come back from the Euros with Maguire and Shaw, who had a great Euros, with Varane, the World Cup winner. And we're worse. I don't understand how we're worse. But that then has to come down to coaching. And that's why this run feels like it's different, mate. It feels like there's not enough players playing well to carry us through. And yeah, we've got moments. We've got absolute world-beating players that can turn up any day of the week. But we haven't got that easier team to get us out of jail, just to give us a bit of momentum. It's like you need a plan going into all of these games coming up. We don't have that, mate. We've got moments of brilliance in individuals, and that is it, mate. that can't carry you through. It's not sustainable. I do feel we're going to get found out. It could be anything. Don't get me wrong. Anything can happen in football. I know that, and I've been made to look stupid before. But hey, we know, and I know how well Liverpool are playing right now and how comfortable they are. It's hard to see anything but. It's just the Old Trafford factor.
Old game. Yeah, absolutely.
You don't know, mate. It's hard, but honestly, that run thing and Ali getting out of jail, I think that is slowly coming to an end, and that's why it feels a bit different this time.
Conroy, Adam spoke about sort of how good we feel and how good we're playing. I know we've done a fantastic post-match show over on my channel. People need to go and check that out as well when they get a chance. But just very briefly touching on our performance in our game, just give the people what your opinions was, because despite winning 3-2, it was one of our more sluggish performances, but the mentality and the professionalism to see it through is probably as impressive, one of the most impressive away wins around Europe, right?
Yeah, I think so. It was a strange game, Grizz. I think you summed up quite perfectly there. It was like we won 3-2 on paper away to Atletico. You're like, that's an amazing result, but it was a strange game. Defensively, quite sluggish at parts. We maybe said before it's probably our worst performance with that back four altogether. But getting that result was massive, and it is interesting. And it's not a comparison, but we spoke about Atlanta. You've beaten Atlanta under strength Atlanta, but Liverpool notoriously have had problems with Atletico in the past. Like I wouldn't even say they've got our car, but we just seem to never really get one over on them. So I thought it was a really confident result for Liverpool. But also, Grizz, I wanted to add, we never spoke about it the other night. I've just seen it the day after. Did you see the celebration with Salah and Mane? Resembled the celebration in Morata.
Do you know what? I thought it was photoshopped. But I absolutely thought someone's, one of these big accounts, they've just sort of made it into a meme and sort of, but is that actually real?
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, I've seen a few and it looked legit to me. So I was like, they've got long memories. And I thought, to me, that shows that was a massive result for the mentality of that team. And let's be honest, guys, let's not beat around the bush. And I'm going to, someone says it was photoshopped. I thought it wasn't, apologies. But in general, I think that's a massive result. And for something like us, we've not won at Old Trafford when there's been fans there for, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was a 3-0 Rodgers game. That was the last time we won there with fans. So we have got a bit of a problem there. We never do ourselves justice. But I think with that win during the week, I really think I'm actually, surprisingly, believe it or not, I'm quite confident we can get a result the weekend. I know people will be shocked and cars will be getting slamming the brakes on right now, but I am confident.
There you go. This is what happens when you become part of Khanage. But
positivity is infectious.
Exactly. Yeah. Kev, so looking at the two games in Europe, we went away, but we played a day earlier. United played a day later and at home. From your point of view, are you glad that Man United are coming in on a high and won in the end, in terms of they may feel confident and may try to attack us? Are you thinking, I didn't want them in a good mood or any sense of sort of feeling good about themselves? Or don't you care like how they are? It's all about how we play. Where are you with that?
I don't care.
Okay.
At the end of the day, if we've gone,
Kev's the total opposite of Conroy here. Remember, people.
But we've scored 3 or more away from home in virtually every game we've played this season. That breeds confidence. The fact that the lineup is settled, everyone knows how each other plays, everyone knows how each other runs. The prediction, it's just the way we're playing at the minute. It's like we went through last season when the lads were out, and we went through the second half of last season taking names. And it's like, right, you're having it, and you're having it when they're all come back. And this season they've gone in. I think the signings that came in the summer, with Lukaku, Ronaldo, and all these lads, all the headlines and hype all around, everyone bar us. I think Mo turned around and said, "I'll show you. You watch this. You come and see what I got." And Salah has just been a revelation this season. I think the result last season, the win there, hopefully gave Klopp the confidence to not fear and over respect Manchester United, because they're not Fergie's United.
You make a very good
And
point there. You make a very good
think-
point about that.
I think that a lot of sides did that for years with Manchester United, and they did it with any side really who was on top for a period of time. The fear factor hangs around, and that buys you wins, and it papers cracks, and you get away with stuff that ordinarily you wouldn't get away with. I mean, look, we're in the form of our lives at the minute. We're playing really good stuff. The only thing that worried me with the Atletico game was when we went 2-0 up, I had a feeling that the lads got carried away with the scoreline, like they did against AC Milan, and thought that we're in here, we can get 3, 4, and 5, and we got carried away and did stupid things. And when Klopp made the changes at halftime, he literally he got him in. He changed a few things, a few tweaks, told them where to play and where not to play. And when you actually look at the stats on paper for the game, we had more the ball, we had more shots on target, we had more shots, we had more corners. And Alisson made some good saves, but guess what? Alisson's one of the best keepers in the world. That's why we brought him. Do you know? I mean, and Atletico Madrid are the champions of Spain, and they're going to retain. They're unbeaten at home in Europe for a long time. And that's the first time since 2009 that anyone's put 3 past them in Europe. So, I mean, if you can't take confidence from that going into a game against your biggest rivals at their ground with a full house, then, something's not right.
You made a very good point about sort of your hope that Jurgen Klopp goes to Old Trafford feeling confident and brave, you said. And I mentioned before as well, a couple of times, and other bits I've done today in terms of previews, that Jurgen Klopp, the one criticism I may have of him, or I do have of him, is games against United and Everton away from home. He tends to pay them a bit too much respect, even though we go into it by far the better team. So in case of Everton, by far the better team. And in case of Man United, with the exception of last season where we had a lot of injuries, we normally go there as by far the better team.
In the last few years, yeah.
But we sometimes freeze. Does that give you hope, Adam, in terms of this kind of game can happen? Because even though you haven't beaten us in the last 10 league games, 6 of those have been a draw. Can you see something like that happening again?
It's funny, isn't it, football, how it plays on you when a big game like this comes around. We're looking at what Kev was describing there then, and the form Liverpool are in, scoring at will, how hit and miss United are, and still we're thinking that there's going to be that moment and there could be that opportunity. I mean, I would have thought, I know Liverpool fans, and you're probably all thinking deep down, there's got to be that one cross going in where Ronaldo just rises up and heads it in just to really piss you all off and just rub it in. But it can happen. We know it can happen. Everyone can have that one day where it just doesn't click. There could be a sending off. There could be a moment of stupidity which just sways the game completely. We don't know what's coming. Liverpool against United for the first time with fans in God knows how long. I can't even remember the last one, actually. It's weird. But it just feels weird in this game and the atmosphere. And then everyone going into it, how important it is. A simple thing like sending off early doors in the first half, some moment of stupidity could change the game completely. I think Liverpool have got, you guys are top of the disciplinary table as well, aren't you? I think you've got a better record than everyone, which is crazy. But for me, I think a moment like that it can always happen in these games. It does give us hope that Klopp sometimes has sort of gone a little bit off tack when it comes to them sort of games, like the important local games that mean a lot to the fans. But surely now he's got to look at it and go, we are in the ascendancy here. We have to drive this home because Liverpool don't hold on to leads. Liverpool play in spells and kill teams off instantly. It's like bang, 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 2 or 3 goals. Now what are you going to do? And you can actually see Liverpool just ease off in spells and let teams get a little bit of the ball. And then another 10, 15-minute spell, bang, there you go, you're done, dusted. They've used all their energy up. And it's clever management. You can see what he's doing. I just feel like the only way United get anything from this game is if we get through the first half conceding minimal goals, because I think that's where Liverpool win it early doors. I could see Liverpool scoring minimum of 2 goals. That's a definite with our defence. Just depends how close United are going into the second half. I think that's where United would have a better chance, just because of the atmosphere and that bit of doubt possibly in Liverpool fans and Jurgen Klopp. If it's close going towards the end, how does he work it? How does he do it? But I do feel like Liverpool will come out the blocks, and I think they will try and smash United out the park before we can even get a foothold in the game, and that's how Liverpool win the game for me. I think early doors. I think he did it. I remember talking to you guys before the 4-2 last season. It was like roles reversed slightly. I was thinking, how can Liverpool do this? And he did exactly that. He just had them spells, and it was just like bang, 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 bang. And it was like, before you knew it, it was too many goals. And that's how Liverpool beat teams. That's how I've seen Liverpool win games, in them spells. And then they control the game. They sort of ask the question of the opposition and then go back in again and finish the job off. And I do feel like the longer the game goes on is the only way United are going to be in this game. But United have to limit how many Liverpool get in that first half. Seems crazy me saying it, but I just know that's how United set off. We've been shocking at the start of every game so far this season, barring Leeds, with really slow starters. We have to sort of start off quite... It has to be energetic. It has to be at Liverpool's pace, because you guys will do more of the work and more of the running and more of the attacking. It sounds crazy, but the only way we even compete is by going toe-to-toe, because we can't hold off. Yeah. We can't hold off against Liverpool. It's impossible for us to do that with anyone.
Conroy, Adams painted a very rosy picture for us. Just quickly, Sam says LFC players won't get phased by the atmosphere, though they will relish it. And if there's any ground or dress rehearsal to get ready for a loud Old Trafford, it was at the Wanda against Atletico, right? So we should be ready for that in terms of the noise and atmosphere. Are you expecting a similar game to how Adams described in terms of that opening half? Or are you like me thinking nothing like that? Honestly, nothing like that, in my opinion. I think it's going to be an absolute helter-skelter start from both teams, and United will not be as bad as they were against Atlanta, just for the fact that it's Liverpool FC on their home turf.
Yeah, I actually think I disagree, Adam, in the sense of I do get what you're saying, mate, but even when Liverpool have played well, and I do think they're playing very well now, for me, the first 20 minutes at Old Trafford, I'm always like, it's actually ironic because Gary Neville says it about Anfield. He says, just try and keep the crowd quiet, just calm it down. And I'm actually thinking more of that. I prefer that. I know some fans want us to go hell for leather, but I feel like for me, the best thing Liverpool can do is just get through the first 20 minutes and then just regain control of the game, calm it down, and then I think we can win that way, because we've done that a lot. I feel like, as Adam's made a good point, going toe-to-toe, to a certain extent, you know, the adrenaline, the hustle and bustle about it, I feel like that way United will get a chance of scoring. And if United get a lead, I could still see them maintaining that, because let's be honest, guys, I'm confident we can win on Saturday, but Liverpool at times at Old Trafford are not, let's say, they're never... I don't see Liverpool getting one chance and scoring. They probably need to create a few, because that's just the way we play. And I feel like if you give United something to hold on to, for me, just get through the first 20 minutes and then we do that, calm the crowd down, I think we'll get the result.
Kev, how do you see the game going? How do you see the game plan?
It depends on the lineups, mate.
I was going to say, without getting into the specifics of the lineups, just an overall view in terms of tactically, I think how you'd like us to approach it.
How I'd like us to approach it is let the game come to us.
Okay.
I'd like to let the game come to us. I think the way to beat or to go at Liverpool is what Brighton did to us last year, and put 4 or 5 in a big press. Don't allow Van Dijk and Matic to play the ball around the back. Don't allow the simple ball into Fabinho, and don't allow us to build up play. United's problem is they've got to convince Ronaldo to press like a 20-year-old. and everyone else has to go with him. And to make life as uncomfortable as possible, to force early turnovers, I think Mason Greenwood is a phenomenal player. And if you give him a chance, he's lethal. I think he's going to be an absolute worldie that will save Man United £100 million. Rashford, if he's fit, off Trent's side, or whoever plays on the right-hand side, cutting in onto that side, has to press Trent. You can't allow someone like Trent halfway into the United half to be able to pick his head up and pick balls. This game, for all of my confidence about how we can win it, this game could go anywhere. If this game could be 4-0 either way, and you blink your eyes and think, how did that happen? United's front four, I think, are outstanding goal getters. They're outstanding individuals. United's problem is their central midfield. It's been their central midfield for a while that allows you to get at their back four. That's where the game is going to be won and lost. Fabinho is vital for us. Henderson is vital for us. And Jones or Milner, whoever plays, is vital for us. They'll dictate the pace. They'll dictate how we play. And the chances will come for both sides. And I fancy our back four over their back four.
Fair enough.
That's how I see it going.
That's a fair assessment. So obviously, as Kev says, Adam, when we're looking at sort of when we envisage and try to visualize how the game's going to go, of course, it depends on the personnel involved. I think it's fair to say, would you agree that your back four probably picks itself because Varane's not back, right?
Yeah.
What happens to the rest of the team and the formation, in your opinion?
Well,
how would you go about it, and how will Ollie go about it?
How Ollie goes about it and how we would go about it completely night and day. But to be honest, it's the issue with the system more than the person in it that Ollie plays. The strict double pivot destroys us. It's soul destroying to the fans. It really is. It's because we're trying to make two holding midfielders out of either Fred or McTominay who aren't and cannot play there. They're not good enough on the ball. You'll notice the game. If McTominay plays, you'll notice him playing alongside the centre-backs because he needs space to run into. He can't take a ball on a turn. And Liverpool will press that out. And that's like what Kev was saying there. That central midfield allows so much traffic through it because it's so deep. There's no pace in our back line at all. Zero pace. So is he going to go deep, allowing Liverpool to push forward and press high? You guys remember one year we had Jones and Smalling playing at the back, and Jose Mourinho went to Anfield and played long. He bypassed the press by not giving Jones and Smalling the ball, and it finished 0-0. It's the only way United can counteract Liverpool's press. Play long and pick up the second balls if you can. That's it. It's a crap ploy, but in our situation, the only way we sort of stay solid is by not trying to pass the ball.
Yeah, but if he does that, Adam, if he does that, that literally makes Ronaldo void.
Yeah,
like if he just lumps it up to him, like if you play Cavani, if you used Cavani in that role, then it could make sense with Rashford, Bruno, and Greenwood picking up the scraps of second balls.
And all his team. And this is how bad they are. It's like you're saying, hey, it sounds amazing what you're saying there. It sounds crazy, but this is how crap this team has been playing. It's not like we're having an off day. It's not been great. It's been atrocious. Like Fred and McTominay can't pass a ball. They cannot pass the ball. You would see them guys standing there 5 yards, try and make a simple pass, straight to an opposition player, or even sometimes out of play. They need to play the game of their life because it's probably going to be them two that play, which means Pogba will be dropped, believe it or not. It's absolutely mental because if Rashford is fit, he will play. He's an Ollie favourite, guaranteed. Ronaldo will play, 100% guaranteed. And that leaves a load of forwards sat on the bench and you're wondering who's going to play on the right-hand side. Like Kev said, it has been Greenwood recently, but Greenwood on the right is wasted. He belongs in the middle. he's not going to play in the middle because Ronaldo's there. Bruno will play in the 10. Very predictable. And there's no cohesion in it. There's no cohesion. It's just one of them will do something miraculous and maybe change the momentum of the game through a moment. There's no system. There's no style of play. There's no transition. There's no sort of patterns in our play. It is one of them will do something and then we'll get momentum and move forward with it. But with Fred and McTominay in that midfield, you will see it. When you watch the game, you will see it. You see how they operate. They have got zero confidence on the ball, and that's where Liverpool will take advantage of it. For me, like Kev said before, Pogba's ill-disciplined in a position, but I know at least he can hold on to the ball and he's got the strength to do something with it. Which is why I would put Pogba in the middle and say, look, it has to be that because you can only attack Liverpool if you want anything out of this game. It's the only way you're going to get anything out of it.
I think I've got a few sportsman's bets, no money involved before people start calling me a gambler. A few sportsman's bets and a friendly bets with a few United people that I've spoke to today that Pogba will play in this game. I don't know positionally where, but I think Ole will want Pogba on that pitch against one of his biggest rivals. If he doesn't, that will be a Champions League game in midweek that he's dropped him for. And then we know he's dropped him as opposed to rested him for Liverpool, if you know what I mean, Adam. Yeah. So we could see it as he's rested him for United. But if he does, for Liverpool. But if he doesn't start against Liverpool, then there's huge question marks over his future. And you know,
they're already there, mate. They're already there. It's like I said it just before on my show on United Stand. It was like Pogba's like the main man in that French squad. He goes away, wins the World Cup, he wins the Nations League, he comes back to his club team. All his French counterparts, they're all in the Champions League. And Pogba sat on the bench for Fred and McTominay in a Champions League game that needs to be won.
To the outside world, it sounds mad.
I can't believe you're not going to play it. Like Pogba.
It's ridiculous.
Pogba,
that's what we are at the moment.
Is more a threat and can hurt us. And I understand the logic. I get it, mate. But like Pogba is only, well, not obviously you've got Ronaldo, but Pogba's ridiculous when it comes to ability. Like, and even if he does something, and I know he's inconsistent, but your best chance to hurt us is having Paul Pogba. And people might say, right, I understand that he's not got the discipline to do that. I do get that. But from a completely rival fan, I'm scared of Paul Pogba when he's on the ball. Like, I feel like he can do anything. He can tear our world-class defence, the centre-backs apart with one pass. And he can. He's maybe one of the only players who can do that in the world. But it's that kind of balance. But for me, if he's not playing, I'm happier, 100%. But
it's that balancing act, isn't it, Kev? Because and I agree with the rest of the lineup, like I'm just hoping that Rashford's dead leg, lasts a week as opposed to a few days, right? But Rashford, for me, is the ultimate danger man when it comes to Man United Liverpool. Yeah. Then for me, it's Greenwood, as you said, and I'm totally in agreement with you. He's a phenomenal talent. And then if you got Bruno, who's a dead cert in the 10, and Ronaldo up front, that only leaves one spot in that team, Kev.
Yeah.
Alongside either either McTominay or Fred. He's a brave man if he plays that team and line up against us, right?
I would go with Matic holding and Pogba and Fernandes either side of him, with Ronaldo up front and Greenwood on the right and Rashford on the left.
But the thing is, the big complaint
if you're going to go down swinging.
But the thing is, and I don't know if Adam will agree with this, a lot of United fans that I've been speaking with this week have spoken about Matic being absolutely dead on his feet and very, very immobile. And literally, is that so? Is that how you feel about Matic, or would you still bring him in?
I have to sort of back him up a bit because it's my namesake, innit? So it's what my whole channel's built on. But no, Matic is our best midfielder, but he lasts about 60 minutes. That's the problem with him.
He is a good player. Like he's 100% a good player.
He's absolutely. I seen this man at the Emirates with about 5 City players around him in the box, and he never once panicked. It's one thing he doesn't do. He never panics. He's strong on the ball. Yes, he tires. And yes, he's not as mobile as what Ollie calls the legs in Fred and McTominay. It's a shame we got him at the wrong time because he is a brilliant player. He really is. But it's that energetic Liverpool press that everyone will worry about because he will pick the ball up deep off the centre-backs and then he's in first man of the press to be hit. I know he will be composed, but it's a balance, isn't it? It's a balance.
It's
very difficult.
Yeah, this is the thing.
Because you know you're going to have to sub him. Do you chance starting him knowing that he's got to come off on 60 when you could be wasting a substitution later on? Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of...
It's catch-22 because if you try to wait, you're banking on being in the lead.
Yeah.
Bring him on to shore it up. You start him for an hour and you start him for an hour to stay in the game. You know, his job is literally stand in front of the two centre-backs and protect them.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. One of the other two will have to sit with him or stay mobile. It'll be Bruno who'll go forward. But they have to come back. And it all depends on Ronaldo working and not allowing...
He won't do it.
He can't do it.
He can't.
No, he can. He can.
No, Kev, his legs have gone.
He chooses to do it in spurts. He does it in spurts now and again.
He won't press. He won't press the ball, Ronaldo. He won't press at all. Cavani will. Cavani will do it all day long.
I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo is an embarrassment of riches, and he was the one player that when you signed him, I thought, how does this work? Because my biggest thing with United was if they signed a real holding midfielder. They didn't need goals. Goals was never United's problem. Like I said, it was a holding midfielder. You didn't really need Sancho. You know, you did it because you had to, because you forced your own hands by going back for him a second time. You couldn't be seen.
Ronaldo would score 45, 50 goals in Liverpool's team.
No, he wouldn't, because he wouldn't get
it. Would with the crosses that Trent and Robinson put in. We don't have any width. We don't have any width. Ronaldo is only good in the 6-yard box now. That's it.
Cristiano Ronaldo wouldn't get in our starting 11.
No, he wouldn't.
No, for the pure simple reason we don't have passing.
Yeah, no, but I think he means with the quality that we've got.
I understand. Yeah.
He wouldn't get in now because he doesn't fit the system. United haven't got a system, so that's why he came in. Ronaldo will be the end of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because he doesn't know how to handle him.
I just want to quickly address this chat. Sorry, Conrad, I'm going to come straight back to you. You people hate on Pogba too much. Brothers class just playing for a shitty manager. We've actually been very complimentary on Pogba and said he's an outstanding talent. We haven't hated on him at all. Sorry, Conrad, you was going to say.
No, I was just going to say, see, to be honest though, if you got the chance to sign Ronaldo, I don't know if anyone can really turn that down. And also, Man United's problem last year was with their home form and maybe beating teams they should have been beaten. So maybe the Liverpool game is not when they're signing Ronaldo, even though he can still obviously score at the weekend, but they're looking for the games to beat the teams who are sitting in, causing them problems. Because to me, you can't not sign Ronaldo though. Like it's too big an opportunity, and he's as much as he's proved
for what he provides on the pitch.
No, but you talk about goals, Kev, right? And if he's there to score goals, right, that's 2 wins in the Champions League because of Ronaldo. So,
but how many games does he cost you? Because of his work, because of the way he works, and because the press always starts from the front. And it doesn't matter what side you're in. If you're Arsenal, if you're Brighton, West Ham.
Yeah, but not every striker in the Premier League presses, Kev. Like, you're just the top teams do that.
They don't allow a centre-back to walk past them when they're 5 yards away. They at least make an effort.
I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle. I've got to come in here between you two before you get to blows. I've got to step in here and say, I kind of agree with both of you. And I'm in the middle because... But in the end, ultimately, I'll say it's not a great signing. And the reason for that is I totally get what you're saying, Conroy. You don't turn up your nose of signing one of the greatest finishers the world's ever seen. But then what Kevin's saying is you have to have a game plan. And if you think that game plan is going to make you win the league, you're deluded, because it's been proven. Even in recent times, you look at all the league title winners, the pressing is intense from every team that's won it, whether it's City, whether it's Liverpool,
Yeah,
you know,
it's
whether it's
systems
whoever,
win.
even the United. Yeah, the problem Ole has with Ronaldo is he can't drop him in games like this, and that's the problem. Ronaldo, if he was bought, and this may sound crazy, guys, but I think it's fact. If you bring Ronaldo as a squad player, it's an amazing signing. But if you're bringing him to build this team around, then in my opinion, pretty much like Kev's, it's not an awful signing, but it's a stupid
wrong
signing. Wrong. Yeah.
It's
You know
the
what
wrong
it was?
signing because there
Because
were
it's
other
United.
positions. There were
Because it's
other
United, we say
positions in the
stupid.
park that needed addressing.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what it was? It's like I use the analogy of United knew what we needed to buy in the summer. We knew the positions, like Kev said. So it was like going in to Aldi with your shopping list there, and then you go down that middle aisle, and it's like Wonderland, isn't it? It's like, I need that. No, you don't fucking need that.
You don't need
I
that,
want that chainsaw next to the cabbages. I've got to put it in there. And that's literally what Ronaldo was. We bought something we did not need at the time. It just looked good, and you couldn't say no to it.
You couldn't let your neighbour.
Yeah, but it's only 25 mil though, guys. Only 25 mil. If you're a good manager, you're a strong manager, you wouldn't be playing this game.
But that's what we don't have.
Starting.
But that's my point, Conroy. That's exactly. I know what you mean. Like financially, it made sense.
Brilliant.
Commercially, it made sense. Even clutch moments, bring him on for clutch moments. Bring him on. But they haven't got the manager who's strong enough to do that. And Cristiano Ronaldo is too much of a personality at United to be a squad
Where
player.
else is he going to go
used.
though, Chris? Where else is he going to start every game though? That's going
but
to be
that's not United.
level.
That shouldn't have been United's problem.
No, but they've got the. If a strong manager's in there, I feel like you can word it in a certain way that he's 37 now, Ronaldo. That I still think if you'd not play him every game, he's still going to have clutch moments like Atlanta, Villarreal.
Yeah.
Like that's what he's good at. So,
but he's not using him like that. He's the first name on the team sheet, and that's the problem.
He always will be as well.
He'll always will be unless you get someone like a Conte who will have him out the door first thing. Like literally, I guarantee you guys, if you get someone like in Conte, who absolutely refuses to have any passengers in his team, that's the first thing that'll happen. But listen, long may it continue from that aspect, from our point of view. From our point of view, Kev, what are we looking at in team wise? How are you setting up to sort of calm this Old Trafford crowd down and then go for the kill?
Back four picks itself.
Yep.
Midfield, Fabinho, Henderson, probably Milner if he's fit, if he's able to play. But the 5-day break is a blessing. You know, if Milner gives you an hour, then you can make your change on the hour for Curtis or Naby, depending on the game situation. Ox didn't do himself any harm the other night. He won't start. I'm not saying he's going to start, but he gives you an option later in games if need be.
Yeah, he done well, didn't he? Done well.
I'd play Bobby to purely and simply sit on Fred or whoever plays in that 6th role for United. Sit on them and don't allow a simple ball. Make them go long. And let Sadio and Mo do their thing. I think Salah is going to look at Luke Shaw and think, yeah, you've had the better of me in the past, but you're not playing in the back 5 this time. You're not going to be able to come out at me this time. This time you're going to have to sit and wait for me. And you'll see Salah playing further wide than he normally does. And you'll see him drawing Shaw out to go past him.
Conroy,
I was going to say Sadio will play more central.
Do you agree with that setup and kind of how you envisage us setting up tactically?
Yeah, I do. The only thing I've been toying with the past couple of hours is if I know Adam mentioned it earlier with Jota, because Jota does actually play well against Manchester United. His movement, it causes problems with their backline as well. However, I'm kind of siding more with Bobby, a bit like Kev said as well. Bobby dropping deep, I feel like that will suit this game. With the atmosphere, him coming in to take it and collect it, and as you said, keeping the ball for us, allowing us to maintain the ball. I think we'd all say he's the best at that in the false 9 position instead of Jota. Jota's still a great threat, but I'd see more Jota coming on and having an impact. So I'd agree with Kev. I'd say Bobby.
See, I've been toying with the idea of it's Man United
4-2-3-1.
Yeah, listening to Adams sort of thoughts on his beloved. I thought, there's no time to mess about. I think Bobby's playing brilliantly. I think Mane and Salah are playing brilliantly, and I think Jota is always a danger. And I was thinking, play Henderson and Fabinho as a double pivot, match them up with McTominay and Fred. They can handle McTominay and Fred, and then just let Bobby, Jota, and the front two stay wide as possible and absolutely go for the kill. But that's not what Klopp's going to do. That was me last night on FIFA. What's probably more likely to happen is I'd be surprised, Kev, if Milner comes in. I'd be surprised if he gets another goal. I get what you're saying with the 5-day rest. I think Curtis Jones being kept behind for another week's training and going off of his sort of cameo last season, I think it's either him or Naby. Now, Naby would be a Klopp move in terms of go and prove yourself, kid. I didn't mean to get you slaughtered in the media and the press. It was just the way the game was going, and I couldn't take off my captain and my vice captain. You've been very good for me, so here's your chance to go and prove yourself again. So I wouldn't be surprised if Naby gets a shot, and I think Jota will start up front instead of Bobby. That's my hot take. But I think the rest of the team for both sides. Options. Say again, sorry.
So nice options. At the end of the day, you can have a solid discussion and a solid argument for all of them, and you'll come out of it and you'll think, yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, he's making a good point, and I wouldn't. And
that's the beauty of having squad.
Yeah, and we do. This is the difference between what we've built and what United are currently, the stage United are currently in, is the fact that we've built a squad to play in this 4-3-3, and all of them now are comfortable in it. It's not like when you go mad in a transfer window and bring in 4 or 5 players, you have to bed them in. Khanage has only made 1 start. Do you know what I mean? It's the way Klopp has built this side over time. Now, I can see why the United pundits and the ex-United players are talking about Ollie given time and building foundations and going and looking at what Liverpool and Man City have done to evolve a squad over time. I can understand that. Ollie's not the right man to do that, but that's what needs to happen at Manchester United. And it needs to happen with a proper director of football and coach who are in sync with a plan. But at the end of the day, we're uncomfortable with pretty much any 11 the Klopp can put out now, that they're all capable of doing what he wants. And it's taken time to get there.
I need to get you off YouTube, Kevin. I'm very worried that United might take you up as a football director. I don't want them.
They can't afford me, mate.
I don't want them coming back because you're giving them some good ideas. But Adam, Kevin touched upon sort of ex-players having views and opinions on Ole as a coach. And I just wanted a very quick opinion on your view in terms of what Gary Neville said the other day, in terms of basically what he said, and I'm going to paraphrase. If it pisses off some United fans, so be it. Basically, he said, I'll never ask for Ole to be sacked, like literally, because he's my mate. Now, how does that look from a viewer's sort of neutral, like we're watching Sky Sports or whatever we're watching, and we expect unbiased punditry and sort of a true reflection, a true opinion of what they really feel. And if that's how he feels, then surely some of his other views and opinions can't be really taken on face value, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it, mate. You said it there. It's like what Mark said in reply to him in the tweet. Gary Neville actually came back to him and replied to him. He said, look, so basically everything you say now we should ignore because you're biased and you've admitted that because he's a mate, you wouldn't sack him or you wouldn't think he was worth sacking him. He says, yes, just ignore me. That was what Gary Neville's response was to the tweet. He said, yeah, just ignore me. I'm like, I don't know, mate. You're building up this sort of career in the media of being like this level-headed pundit. I still don't think he's level-headed. I think he's just over the top now in terms of how unbiased he's trying to be. But I'm like, there's just nothing to it. It's like 3 years
There was
over
a simple way of kind
400
of squashing it as well, Adam.
over-
He could have.
yeah.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, you go, mate. Yeah, I
So
was
go on,
just
just
saying.
say it.
He could have just squished it by saying, like, you know, a lot of pundits say, I'm never going to ask for a manager to be sacked. Like, a lot of pundits say that. I think Savage says it. Could have
Yeah.
just said that, and then it would have mean, you know, take the heat. But because he said it like that, it's opened a can of worms, to be honest.
It has opened the can of worms, because now it's like we've seen what Scholes was like last night against Rio Ferdinand. I didn't see that obviously till later on because I was at the game, but I'm thinking there it's like, oh my God. You've got one class of 92 player saying this is like a disgrace. I can't really celebrate the win properly because of how bad it was in the first half. And you've got one who's basically saying you can't say anything bad about him because we used to play with him and he's a good mate. That's just poor punditry, in my opinion. You can't say things like that because he has come out and said it, and he always used to quote his dad on this. He used to say, you can't kid the fans. You can never kid the fans. It's his famous quote. Oh, sorry, mate. It's like you're doing exactly that. It's so hypocritical what he's doing and what he's saying. It's just like, we know what we're seeing. We're the ones paying, going and traveling the country, watching this team every single week. We're seeing the highest paid squad, third highest paid squad in world football, and one of the most expensive squads assembled in Premier League history, get absolutely battered every single week. So what is the common denominator there? It is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, like you guys said, is not on a level to compete with the Klopps, the Peps, and the Tuchels of this world. But right now, we're looking below us. We're not looking at you three. We're looking below us because that's how bad we're playing right now. That has to be questioned. It has to be questioned. And for him to ignore it outright like that, I just think he's gone down in a lot of fans' estimations. And I don't think just United fans, because everyone wants honest opinion. And
he's a good pundit. He's a good pundit as well. It's a strange one.
It is.
Answer this one before we go into predictions, Adam. Would Neville give Ollie the job at Salford? I mean, it's true though, isn't it? It's Woody at this stage.
I mean, he's sacked enough, hasn't he? He's sacked enough already. So again, hypocritical, isn't it? He's the owner of, well, not so much. He sort of just runs the show there. It's not all his money, we know that, but we said it all along. Which Premier League club takes Ollie as a manager if he's not at United? None of them.
Not many.
Say no more.
Not many. Absolutely.
Say no more.
Well, it's time to, after all the bravado, after all the down talk, the despondency, the
5-0.
You know, after all that, it's time to get some predictions on the board. And I'm going to go with Conroy first because I like hearing Conroy's newfound positivity.
Yeah. 6-0. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. No, 7. No, I'm only kidding. No.
Who let Red Stephen on the pod tonight?
I know. It's my twin brother tonight again. He's the positive one. But I've got to be honest. I do think. See, with these games, I always feel like we're going to concede. Even so, I think for me, I'm thinking a 2-1 win. I can't see us keeping a clean sheet. So I'd say 2-1 and goal scorers for us. I'm thinking Salah, it's very obvious, but with the run he's on, how can you bet against that now? And I'll go for a big Verge header. So that's my 2-1 at Old Trafford.
Adam, give it to us. You can give us two. You can give heart and you can give head.
3-2 either way. One team's. Okay. I just feel like Old Trafford is the ground within this fixture where all the goals come. Notoriously, over the years, Liverpool's have been 1, 2, 3 at best for one team, but there's always been a good mixture of goals at Old Trafford. It's like last season, the 3-2 and 4-2, either way for both teams. I just remember, I can remember like the days of like when Berbatov scored his overhead kick, the 3-2s, and you know, he's always game. Even when Liverpool beat us, Liverpool always scored 3 or 4 when they beat us at Old Trafford. There's never a really close game.
Good point.
I do feel like there's going to be goals for both teams. Obviously, I'm just going to go. The only way United can win this game is by going at Liverpool. Liverpool will score at least 2. Just depends if these United players can carry themselves and stand up and be counted. So I'm just going to go with my bias 3-2 United. But that result either way.
Fair enough. Go on, Kev.
I go with 3-1. I think we win 3-1. I think they'll score. I wouldn't be surprised if they score first. I think, watching United last night, they created an awful lot of chances.
They always will.
Missed a lot. And their keeper played really well last night, Atlanta's keeper. They'll create chances, but I think we're more clinical, and I think we'll play well. If we play well, we'll win handy. We'll win comfortable in the end.
Excellent.
We're just a better unit. We're just a better 11. And as long as we don't play the occasion and we play the game, we'll win it 3-1.
What a great way to end it on a Liverpool channel than saying that we're gonna smash them 3-1. But listen, it's been a fantastic show, lads. I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed that chat. Thank you all, especially Adam. Adam, thank you very much for turning up, mate. You're an absolute diamond. It can be hard. As I said, we've been through these last season. Every game we were losing. We went through 6 games in a row, being at home. We had to do these shows, and it was miserable. And the likes of Burnley were coming up and beating us. Fulham beat. We were. It was a horrible. But I hope. I don't know what I hope for you guys. I can't wish you luck. I don't really want you to get out of the doldrums, but I've got so much time and respect for you, mate. I really appreciate you coming in and helping us out, mate.
No worries.
Nice one. And you guys, obviously, we catch up soon. Kev and Conroy, really great show. And yeah, we've come to another episode of Khanage. Let's hope there's some carnage on Sunday, and let's hope we come out on top. Thank you very much for tuning in. Over and out.